Hey guys, it's Sean with HydroPro Pressure Washing in Nashville, Tennessee. We finished up this trailer build a month or two ago and been meaning to do a walk around, so figured we'd go ahead and do it, see if anybody, give anybody some tips of what to do or what not to do. So we will start over here with the washers. We've got two 37 horsepower Kohlers, and they're running general pumps, about 10 gallons a minute, 3,500 psi, and they both have 10,000 watt generators. I wanted to have 10,000 watts because I use those to power the booster as well, so I can always run the booster and the hot water at the same time off either machine. So if one's down, we can always use the other. And then something I've always wanted to do is we've got a clutch on both of these machines. So we've got a 12 volt switch here. So when we're running this, if we don't want to run the pressure washer, then we just turn it off there and just the machine or the motor and the generator will run. So we can use that as a generator for obviously anything, just the booster pump, or heck, if we need to around the house when the power goes out. But so those are both identically the same, and got everything covered up here. Always got to wash your lines. You can see where that rubs, so got this extra thick hose around there to protect that. Got 1-inch lines. These are Plyovic, really thick, good 1-inch hose, and you can see I've got everything color coded. So everything for this machine is red, everything for this machine is blue, and that goes all the way as far as the fuel lines, and then even over to the burners to make it easier for troubleshooting. The gas right here, I think it came out to about 50 gallons, and then the diesel underneath is about 70 gallons. Wanted to make sure that we'd be able to run both on a full long day. And then of course our booster and proportioner setup. I'd always wanted to do it on a wall like this just to make everything easy for maintenance and so you can see everything. Obviously just a 1 horsepower booster, and then this is our switch going from positive. This is our positive coming in from our garden hose feed. This way is for the proportioner. And then we've got 2 bleach tanks. So we've got our valve here to switch from one to the other, and this is our flush valve. This one here goes to the water. All of that in there. There's actually 4 200-gallon tanks, and they're all tied together, but I do have this one where we can shut it off. So if we don't want to, or if for some reason I ever need a ton of bleach, I can turn that into a bleach tank. But obviously 800 gallons of water, that would put this trailer overweight. No doubt this trailer actually started off to be a much lighter build, but I had more ideas as we went, so one day those will get traded out to 10,000 pound axles, but I don't carry the water full. That's just when we get in the garages, get there, hook up immediately, let it start filling up. Down here we've got 3 16-gallon tanks. This one here we've got for degreaser, so I've got a valve there so I can dump it out into a pump up sprayer. And you'll see I've got everything on garden hose fittings. I learned that from Tim Asselton. I love it. I thought they would leak, but they just don't. They've been great, so it's very quick, very easy. All of my ag hose on the other side for soft washing, it's all garden hose as well. So with this, I've also made it where I can X-jet with the same hose and any of these chemicals, including the bleach here. So got those on garden hose. So if I want to disconnect, hook up my ag hose, and then I've got it retrofitted on the end of an X-jet nozzle. This middle tank is actually, in the wintertime, it's for antifreeze. So we got our 2 valves for the water on off right here. You can see everything's connected under there. And then I've got everything on cam locks here, and they don't leak either. Everything is very sturdy. Got this plate bolted down to the trailer, but if we want to winterize, all I do is disconnect these cam locks, put them on the here, and it'll pull right out of there, out of the tank. So then we've got our filters and everything completely winterized, and then I can open up these valves to drain everything out of the tank, as well as another one in the back. Worked out a good spot for a pump up sprayer. But when it's not winter time, this is going to be Agent Halt there in the middle. And then this is our soap tank for our proportioner. And come around the back. That's a flush valve for the tank, for all tanks actually. And then these 2 bleach tanks. It's always controversial whether to have bulkheads on the bottoms of them. I've done it forever. I've had some go a year and a half or so without even leaking. Most of them at least a year. So for me, it's worth it. This gives me the ability, I've got a valve for each one to fill up pump up sprayers or a bucket, anything I want to get pure bleach out of there. And then also drain the tanks majority of the way if I ever need to. This is all storage under here. At some point I will have a gate back here, a lockable gate, and I made that just high enough. Everything across is the same height, but it's just enough height to get 5-gallon buckets under there. But obviously large surface cleaners, a ladder. We can actually slide a ladder straight down the middle all the way back to that burner. My large one will fit in there and stick out the back about 2 feet. So for now that works well. We don't use ladders much, so I don't really worry about that. And then if you've had a trailer long, you know you better have a spare tire with you. And these tires, I've upgraded them from the ones that come on here. They're all 14 ply tires. I would highly recommend that to anybody that's got a trailer with any kind of weight on it. They last so much longer. I haven't had any flats or blowouts with these actually on any of my trailers. I did the same thing on this one. And then thought that'd be a great place to put some cones. Had all that built in. This is where all this extra weight keeps adding up that I didn't think about. You think about this stuff as you go. And then back here, this is a manifold for everything: the garden hose, the soft wash, pressure hose, and one day that'll all be wrapped and labeled nice and fancy, but hadn't got to it. These bottom 2 are for garden hose, so I've got 2 inlets, 2 feeds, and then the top one is for our ag hose for soft washing. And those are color coordinated as well. You can see here I've got fills for all the tanks. Each tank has a Hudson float valve on it. The red, they ran out of red hose and haven't got it back in, so I've made do with one line. I haven't really needed another one anyway, but I wanted to put a Hudson float valve on each one and have it go to each tank. Obviously they're all connected at the bottom, but if you've had Hudson float valves, you know they, 1, can restrict the flow on really good water, and 2, can get clogged up. So having 4 on either line coming in, then I'm not going to have to worry about if one gets clogged up, it's going to go in another tank, and you know, so on. And then this box is a control panel. I'll come back to it last. We'll open it up. It's got all the electrics for the lights and the reels. Oh, let me show you what this is. This is how I've got a downstream injector set up. So this pulls, goes to our injector, and then this line here, this goes back. It's a 3-way diverter, so I can go to 3 different tanks. So I've actually got it ran over there to the degreaser and to the 2 bleach tanks. Again, color coordinated, makes stuff a lot easier for maintenance. And on our pressure, we've got our 2 lines coming in here, all 1/2 inch all the way from the machine. And then this, I basically built in an injector bypass. So those have T's on them. And then one line comes up to here. So this is nice for 2 reasons. One, if I do want to do an injector bypass, which I don't do a lot of downstreaming anymore, so I just built it in. You do this, and then if I don't want to use it, it's all on quick connects. Just take it off. Just hook your pressure lines right up. All of our reels are just for storage. Another good thing about having this in line is if you're out at the one 200 feet away, you lay it down and you come back to the truck with the machine running. If you need to, stop, and if you don't have a flow unloader, you'll have pressure built up in the line. You have to walk all the way back out to your gun, open the ball valve, pull the trigger. With this, you can simply just open a valve and it's going to release that pressure. And or if you leave it running, obviously the water will come right out here. And I've been meaning to get some caps for these just so some ignoramus doesn't walk by and just pull it, even though they don't pull real easy. But got 5 18-inch reels, 2 22-inch reels, obviously water on top, ag hose there. And these were meant to have, well, I've changed my mind a few times, but there we've got 1 wire on the top and then the gray 2 wire on the bottom. Same thing was meant to be here with the blue, and then down below in the middle would be 2 wire, and then the bottom is another garden hose reel that I just hadn't put anything on yet. Also, if I wanted to, I would make this middle reel 1/2 inch hose, because we've got everything where we can tie the 2 machines together if we like, to get roughly 20 gallons a minute. And then I didn't show you on the other side, we've got lights here. And then toolboxes. This one, large one, I had made big enough to be able to stack 2 big guys in there, front to back. And there's still plenty of other room in there if you actually set them in there right. Wands, other things in there. These are stainless and lockable, watertight. This one here, we've got, this was made space so you could fit 1 gallon jugs up there if you wanted to. And something I did, the reason I keep this Mamma Jamma on here, I took the jack arm off and welded a nut on this side. So you just use this cordless drill to raise and lower it. I'm not sure of it. This is the first time I've ever done it. I'm not sure if it's going to last that way. But it is a hell of a lot better than cranking it all the time. Got a little mixer I keep handy. So anytime we're mixing any chemicals in the tanks, soaps. And then the burners, they're both 980,000 BTU burners, 3/4 inch coil. So they will get 10 gallons a minute, well over 200 degrees. And got everything, got a gauge on each, and got it where you can tie the 2 machines together easily with just a flip of a couple ball valves. Got thermostats there, flow switches. And I'll walk back around to the lights. I've got here double battery box, and as you can see, ran everything in watertight connections, but those two they're not connected because I wanted to make sure if one goes down I can still have the other one, but both machines go to both batteries, so they're always both being charged. And then in here we've got control box, and as you can see by all the names, all the labels, it's a Marine control, I guess, well, they're breaker panel. Each battery has its own on-off. Yes, I could have done a three-way there, but this is just the way I ended up doing it. It's got a master on-off there. And this will also show us, obviously, our voltage at all times, so we always know what each battery is. So that one's 12.6, and this one is right about the same. So all of these are for lights on the trailer, and I'll show you those. I'll turn them all on. And then these last three, those are 40 amp breakers for the hose reels. And yeah, you're supposed to have a 40 amp breaker for each reel, but since we have 3 stacks here, I'm never going to be running or trying to reel up 2 hose reels on the same stack, so I just didn't feel the need, and that worked out perfect with the panel box there. But got the lights on the tanks. The tanks are all lit up for night work, and it's all, again, marine grade lighting. I've got lights that shoot up into the tank. Let's see, there. And then obviously the white lights that shine down. You can see when you're getting anything in here, especially since we work in parking garages, it gets dark and you lose stuff when you're trying to mess around with it. And then I just put one light over here just because it worked out with the design. It was just a nice tight fit right in there. Underneath the trailer, you probably can't tell, you can see a little light shining down there, but it's got lights underneath the whole trailer. So when you inevitably are trying to change out a gasket or O-ring, something like that, drop crap under the trailer, a little easier to find it. This side had 2 spots, 2 perfect spots for these lights. They're, again, marine grade, and as you can see, the reels, everything got that silicone and any open ends. Everything's got heat shrink. You can see more light under there. But I think that is it. Oh, and I did design it all to be at, I think it came out to about 6'3" was the height. And these burner rain guards easily come off. They just have 2 screws in each side. So if we need to go in a garage, we can easily just unscrew those, roll in, put them back on if we need to. There's the fuel lines going to each one. Let's see, anything else? I think that is about it. So I enjoyed it. It was a winter project. Had spare time, didn't rush. Just did it over a couple months. I know somebody's gonna ask, but you can tell by the wheels, the lugs. It is I think I mentioned it before. It is 2 7,000-pound axles, which is fine if the tanks aren't completely full. Again, one day after these wear out a little bit, I'll put 10,000 pound axles under there. But these tires have no problem. Like I said, 14 ply, and they're rated for plenty. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. It was definitely fun to do. That's our other garage unit / house wash, or anything really. I guess I'll go over it real quick. This bed I let rust to shit. We used sodium hydroxide on garages for like 6 months, and I just let the guys just go at it, and I wasn't even there the whole time. So downstream everything leaked, so all this was covered in rust. I just ground it down, and as you can see, I'm just using this truck bed liner. Put about 3 good coats on there. I got one on there now. I'll do another one, but just got a 8 gallon a minute Largo burner, and we've got our 8 gallon a minute gear drive, and winterizing tank, toolboxes, 22 gallons of gas, diesel, just your 2 reels. Got 2 tanks for those are 35 gallon, so one's for house wash, one's for degreaser. 300 gallon tank there. And as you can see right here, I actually had to cut this headache rack down at one point. We had a garage that we had to go into that was 6'2", I think, maybe 6'3". So that headache rack bulkhead there stuck up over the cab, so I just chopped it off, made our way in. This one is a 10 gallon a minute hot water, and it's I don't know how old it is, 10 years maybe, but it's been through a lot. It used to be a stand-up unit, and then I took it back to Click Industries and had them lay it down, and I don't even remember now. The diesel tank, you can see it's all the way underneath. I forget how many gallons it is. And then the gas there, you can see I don't like filling up any more than I have to. It's all about efficiency. Less time to have the guys stop at the gas station and waste time. Yeah, winterizing tank there. And then that's a 750 gallon water tank. And I have this transfer pump on the back because we had a job where we could only use fire hydrant water, and it lasted 3 days. So all I did, the guys were washing with 2 10 gallon a minute machines, and so I literally just ran all day back and forth, fill up, transferred into their tanks, and kept going. Not much to that, but anyway, hope everyone is doing great. If you got any questions, feel free to put them down here in the comments, and look forward to seeing y'all soon. Take care.